Hello, darlings. I am Cassandra. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming. For those of you who are new to my channel, child, let me introduce you to the Jungle Beauty Goddesses, the life-size fabric sculpture dolls you see sitting behind me. I created these dolls myself, and as I was sewing them, they would not stop talking to me, and this led to my Jungle Beauty Goddess book series, which is a juicy, sensuous story about human evolution. My Jungle Beauty Goddess tarot deck, ancestor money, and spell rings available in my Etsy shop. In today's video, I want to talk to you about some of about myths and morality surrounding magic from my own experience, because I can only talk to you from my experience. I can't say, these are the rules and this is how it's supposed to be. Everything I'm going to share with you is something that has happened to me personally, and maybe it can help especially beginners, or maybe even if you have dabbled in magic, so to speak. You can share some of your stories with me in the comment box below as well. So one of the first myths I would like to discuss about magic, the use of magic, is people like to ask, does it work all the time? Does magic work all the time? For me, I don't know about anybody else, absolutely not. And it has been a blessing, right? It has been a blessing. Can you imagine getting everything that you have asked for, every spell sometimes when you have a problem, the person you are in the process of solving that problem is not the person you become, maybe even like 6 months down the line or a year later, and you would have done some serious damage. So it doesn't always work. But I'm going to tell you, one of the things that I always write on all of my spells, all of my magic work, I always ask for my highest good and the highest good of all parties involved. That means that, yes, and I may think that this is something that I want right now, but when I ask for my highest good and the highest good of all parties involved, that means that the universe has God, the universe, all that is, God is, whatever term you prefer to use, they have a bird's eye view. They know all of the things that's happening, right? And you don't. So when things don't work out, or when I don't get something the way I expected, the time I expected it, I'm never disappointed. Am I? Let me think about that. No, honestly, I'm not. I think there's a wisdom that comes with knowing that you truly, I know you might think, but I really could use $1 million, right? I really could use that. Well, I don't know if you know, but when people hit the lottery, there's been like a ton of research about people who hit the lottery and the rate of tragedy that goes along with that, the loss of family, friends. Just do your own research, you'll see. Okay, so you don't know this, but if you're asking for this, or another thing I always ask for is this or something better, because I feel like the universe or God, may have something better in mind that I never imagined. Just like even like with my current job, I never asked to be a teacher. I just asked for a job that included laughter and an exchange of ideas, right? So no, it doesn't always. Whenever you do magic, it doesn't work all the time, but I think that I don't know, every time I look back on it, I'm happy that it didn't work all the time. And if you're doing magic, I this is just me personally, because everybody's different. Asking for this or something better, or for the highest good of all parties involved. I think that's your way of telling the spiritual realm, yes, I want this, but I really don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want any harm done to anyone. I don't want this under tragic circumstances. You understand? I don't want this any kind of way. I don't want to break up anybody's family. I don't want anything bad to happen to anyone. So, when you when you ask the universe to do what's best, you probably, I think even if you don't ask, I just think that you have to keep in mind that you have a higher self, you have guardian angels, you have ancestors. You have the spiritual realm is looking out for your highest good, your best, you know what I'm saying, for everybody involved. So we don't always get what we want at the exact time or exactly what we ask for, because there's something better, even when you may not think it's better. So no. The next thing I like to talk about in terms of myths and morality in terms of magic, especially for beginners, is one of the things that I have noticed about doing magic is that whenever I do a spell, talk about in general, I burn a candle or any type of magical work, things usually get worse before they get better, including Feng Shui. I kid you not. When I say Feng Shui, is basically how your home is arranged. Each area of your home represents a different part of your life, and those things in those areas can tell you a lot about what is happening in your life, and you can change those things around to be more harmonious with this natural energy of life, to help you bring about some of the things you want to manifest in your life. Like, for example, you have a love area, a money area, you have a creativity area. When I'm doing my videos, I am sitting in my creativity area, which is responsible for if you want to have children. This is the area you will work on, or if you're working on, say you're a writer and you want to come up with a creative idea, or if you just want to be more creative in general. This is, anyway, I don't want to get into all of that. So basically, what I know about magic so far, and what I've experienced, is that when I do magic, it's almost like you think, and there have been times, I'm telling you, I've done it enough now, at least a good, I would say almost 30 years. I'll say, okay, if I do this, this means I'm prepared to deal with pulling the, what do you call it, like the bow and arrow, and you pull it back. It's like I have to be willing to deal with what appears to be it not working. So let's say you want to improve your relationship. You get into this big argument, which will cause you to go to counseling, or cause you to have a discussion that you've been putting off, but it'll actually make the relationship better. Or I like to think of it like when I'm cleaning my home, right? And you know how when it's a big mess and you just feel like, I just rather move and start over in another country. Well, that is when it looks like it's never going to be clean, but it's usually right when, you start thinking, oh, well, there's a spot. You know what I mean? It's coming together. So just remember, just from my experience, for people who are new to magic, I don't know if other people have experienced this or not. Whenever I do a spell, I always see the opposite of it first. When it appears that things are getting really, really bad, I hate to tell you this, and I hate to tell you this, but it's actually working. That is a sign that it is working. It's kind of like sometimes when people, buy a cleanser for their face, and they think, okay, well, I only had a couple pimples, and now that I'm using your product, my face is breaking completely out. Yeah, because all the other stuff was hiding, and it's cleaning you out completely. So just remember that if you're new to magic, no matter what type you use, at least from my experience, I don't want to tell you, I'm just going to say from my experience, things appear to get worse first. I'm not even nervous anymore. Like, I know now that it's just the rhythm of life. It's just, and I think another thing that's happening, and I may have read this somewhere, it's kind of like when you do the magic spell, it compresses all of the negativity like bring it all to the forefront and compress it to be so that you can get rid of it. So I don't know if that makes sense. So as opposed to it taking your relationship going on a decline over the years, it will just say, okay, let me just get you have this nice little blow up, and let's get it all cleaned out so we can move on to something better. So another thing I want you to, that from my experience of working with Magick, is oh, I know, before, about things appearing worse, I just wanted to give you an example. So I wouldn't say my first introduction to Magick, but one of the things that really made me dive into it more is I read the biography of Frederick Douglass, which I think is an amazing book. And Frederick Douglass, kept escaping slavery, and I think he left this one time, and he was in the forest, and he had run away, and they were looking for him, and he ran into this guy, and his name was Sandy. And this is just really anyway, he ran into this guy named Sandy in the forest, and he gave him this John the Conqueror root, and he told him that no one would ever beat him again. He said, when you carry this with you at all times, and this root will protect you, and no one will ever harm you again, but you must go back to the plantation or you're going to be killed. And Frederick Douglass was like, oh no, I don't want to go back. But Sandy told him, you must go back. It's the only way. So because he would lose his life. So Frederick Douglass goes back to the plantation, and he gets into the biggest fight of his life, a physical altercation with the slave master. And he says in the book that he whipped him, but the slave master was saying, don't make me have to do this to give you another beat down. He said, but they both knew that it was not even close. And he said, not only did he whip up on the slave master, his assistant joined in, because it was just like, wait a minute, what's going on here? His assistant joined the altercation, and he whipped up on both of them, the slave master and his assistant. And he said from that day to the day, well, he can't say when he died, but he said no one ever touched him again in his lifetime. Like, he was never in another physical altercation with anybody. So you see what I'm saying? Things got worse first, right? Had to get that one. He said that the strength that he had when he was in the fight, it was like a strength that came from another world. It was like otherworldly. So just know that if it appears that things are getting really bad, your spell is working. The other thing about Magick is, oh my God, it is not going to solve all your problems. I love Magick, y'all. I love a good Magick spell. Jesus knows Cassandra loves a good Magick spell, okay? But it does not solve all your problems. It does not make your life perfect, because you're meant to, there's so many lessons that you're meant to learn. You understand? There's so many things that appear as obstacles, but those obstacles create books and stories and inventions and designs. Without those, what appear to be as obstacles, you wouldn't have any thing to inspire you to grow, to write, to be a better person. So no, it's not going to solve all your problems. In fact, I think that I don't feel like Magick can actually slow down your progress. I think what it does is that it gives you a different set of problems. This is just my opinion, because sometimes I know people who use Magick, and when I say Magick, I think it includes everything, like books and herbs and gemstones, Feng Shui, the whole nine. Like, all of it, to me, it's like you are able to look at the sort of like the spiritual realm, or the space in your environment, and using the tools that you have access to bring about change in your life, right? I think that one of the mistakes that I think that magic does for a lot of people, that I think is probably the worst thing it does, is that they think because they've done magic that they don't have to work as hard. You know what I mean? Like, they don't feel like, well, what was the point of me doing the spell if I'm going to have to stay up all night and study? Or what was the point of me doing the spell if I'm going to have to join an online dating site? Like, shouldn't the person just appear at my door? You know what I'm saying? So I think, if anything, to be honest with you, I think that when people practice magic in general, not everybody, but a lot of people that I know, it actually debilitates them. It prevents them from putting forth the effort necessary to bring about the changes that they want to see in their own life. So I would say, don't do magic as a substitute for hard work. To me, you work as, you pretend that you work as if God doesn't exist, as if magic doesn't exist, as if only person you can believe in is yourself. And to me, magic will fill in the spaces, the creases, the blanks, the spaces that you cannot get into. It would put the right people in place. You know what I'm saying? But if anything, I think magic hurt people because they don't really feel like they have to put in the same amount of work to get what they want. And then another thing is, this is about another myth about magic. This is my advice to someone who is new to magic. I mean, I know a lot of other people. This is for you, and this is my experience. Yes, the spirit world is real. If you are afraid of spirits, if you are afraid of entities, don't do magic. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. When you start to dabble in the metaphysical world, you make yourself, you become like a light, you light up, your spirit lights up, right? Because you are, so beings, I'm just being so honest, I got chills in my thighs right now, child. Beings from other planets are able to see you, good and bad. They're able to help you, they're able to assist you, they're able to open doors for you. Yes, they're not all good, so first thing I would tell you to do is make sure you protect yourself. And I can tell the difference. Like, for example, whenever, I don't know if you guys can see this chill. See, I don't know if you can see the hairs standing up on my arm. Anyway, you see those bumps? Man, spirit world is like so real. And I experienced this. I was able to be aware of the spirit world prior to doing magic, so it's not something new for me, you know what I'm saying? But it's like when I experience archangels, it feels like if a butterfly was like 6 feet tall and it was flapping its wing. That's what their vibration feel like to me, like the wind from butterfly wings if they were gigantic. I've always been trying to explain that. And then when I feel like other spirits, I also feel like I don't know how to explain this, but like I get chills, but it's not like chills because it's just that I don't have the word for it, but in my thighs, it's like I get this vibration in my thighs. I know it's angels, right? And then when I feel my ancestors, it's almost like I feel like a hug. I feel like a warm hug of energy, and I know that it's an ancestor. When I get chills sometimes for ancestors as well, but it's usually in my arms. But if it's in my thighs, it's an angel. If it's in my shoulders, it's my ancestors. If it's a demon, I usually smell like a rotten. It smells like a rotten egg, or it's a smell, a very distinct smell when it's a demon. So I'm just and I felt other beings that from entities. I could one came into my kitchen, knocked something down on the counter, and like enveloped me. And I just broke out with my sage child. I was like, okay, you got to get out of here. But no, yes, the spirit world is real. Something happened once. I did an offering for my ancestors to help someone who was in the hospital, and man, they opened my bedroom door. It was like something from a movie, and then they embraced me, and I was like, okay, this is serious. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's real. Okay, you messing with magic, you're messing with the spirit realm. And if you are afraid, darling, I'm going to tell you, don't do it, because they are coming to visit you, even if you protect yourself. That's another thing, is that you really need to protect yourself. And when I say protect yourself, you want to protect yourself from lower vibration spirits, sometimes spirits who are lost and, couldn't find their way or chose to stay around for whatever reason. So you do need to protect yourself. I would say get you sage. Sages is not enough. Actually, I make my own mix. I'll talk about that in another video. I probably even already have one up. But I work with the Words of Power. I work with the Gallery of Magic. But I'm telling you that protecting yourself is so important. I don't care if you're doing herbs and roots. I don't care if you are doing the Gallery of Magic. I don't care if you're doing oils. I think it's really important to protect yourself. So the other thing that I would tell you is, I know that people, and I've said this just in a previous video, but just in case someone doesn't see that video, about morality and does it give you, are you cheating? Are you hurting other people? Now, I personally feel like I'm not asking, an angel to, like, I'm just an example, for someone else to fail. I'm just asking to, give me the energy to study harder, to be able to find the right answers, to be able to remember, to give me the discipline to do the things that I need to do. I'm not worried about anybody but myself. So I don't, and I really hate to say this. I mean, no, I hate to say it because I thought that this was beneath me. I never thought in a billion years that I would ever be the kind of person who would harm somebody, or, I mean, I'm not saying I harmed anybody, but I will protect myself and make myself in such a way that if you come near me, you will get scorched. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the level of protecting myself, listen, people will make you understand that you need to protect yourself. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you. You'll be surprised at, I guess for me, I think you can misuse magic, and I do think you can hurt people. But I think ultimately, I don't know. Like, I used to believe that, I'm just going to take a sip of my tea. I'm drinking this delicious, I think it's called passion tea. This is so good. It's a passion tea with raspberry and tangerine and lime. Sorry about that. It was super good. But anyway, I think that you should be very clear about your own sense of morality in terms of what you think is fair and that type of thing. Because I personally think you never get away with anything. So really just focusing on protecting yourself is a big deal. That's all I'm going to say to you. Okay? Protect yourself. I talked about the spirits. And then also, I think that's all I want to say in this video, because I think it's getting pretty long. But anyway, for anybody that's new to magic, I really hope that some of these pointers help. Again, I don't know if I was clear about this, the morality aspect of it in terms of hurting other people, what you think is wrong and right. And in a previous video, I talked about, is it appropriate to manifest a specific person? I personally think that it is a violation of spiritual law to manifest a person. Do magic to get a person who is not interested in you. I think if you are interested in a person, you should try to put on your best, just fix yourself up, send them a letter and say, hey, I'm interested in you. Get yourself, I always ask for the perfect person for me, a person who loves me for who I am, a person who accepts, do you know what I'm saying? That we have this supernatural chemistry, that we support each other's dreams, that we, make each other laugh, that we can talk, that we have a deep abiding friendship. I don't ask for a specific person. I don't believe in that. A person who is, who wants to build together, have a higher level of commitment. I don't ask for a specific. When you ask for a specific person, you get that person. You get a version of that person that you manifested. You don't even get that person that you ask for. Yes, I think it's best to make yourself more attractive, make yourself more appealing, to have a direct relationship, with that person, to say, hey, I think you're cute. Would you like to go on a date? Hey, whatever. But what I'm saying is, I think to do it on the 3D level, whatever, face to face, as opposed to try to manipulate the spiritual world and have them contact you. No. Even if you get a job, let's say, for example, you do magic because you want to get a job you're not qualified for. How long are you going to keep that job? And what type of services are you going to provide to people when you're not even qualified? Do you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't use magic that way. I would use it to help me finish school, help me find the best grants or funding or financial aid, to help me find the best teachers. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I would look at magic. But anyway, I really hope this video helps someone. Thank you so much for watching. And I look forward to seeing you, darlings, in the next video.